Welcome everyone to a very special edition of Macro Musings, the podcast. We are coming to you live from the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank with its president, Raphael Bostic. Raphael, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for coming down to spend some time with me.
Oh, it's great to be here in the building live, and this will come out in a few weeks for the other listeners. Last time we were together, it was in May at your wonderful financial markets conference. You invited me to participate, to moderate a panel. But I love the conference because it dealt with the plumbing of the financial system. We talked about private credit growth. You had panels on the treasury market, the operating system of the central bank. I moderated that one. And you had a fascinating conversation with the vice chair of the Federal Reserve about the liquidity facility. So a lot of fantastic conversations on stage as well as in the hallways, dinner time. And even you and I got a few chances to chat. And we would start off on monetary policy. I think we talked 2 times, but we ended up talking about birding. We'd start with technical monetary policy issues and end up with birding, and I learned you're an avid birder. So tell us about that. When did you start and how did you get into it?
Well, first of all, thank you for doing that at the conference. You helped make it a very successful thing.
Thank you for inviting me.
And the birding, I got into birding a long time ago. I don't call out numbers anymore because I'm an old person, so we just let that be. But it really happened by accident. My husband and I were hiking in some national parks. I was a fast hiker. He was enjoy the journey type of hiker. And I just started noticing these things out bouncing around in the trees. And I didn't know what they were. And then his sister got us a guidebook and a bird feeder. And once I realized I could actually figure out what each one of these things was, that was it. And it really sort of exploded into something that I really enjoy to do. And for me, it does 2 things. So 1, it keeps me balanced and connected to the planet. And 2, to do it well, you really have to be focused in the moment. So it's an escape from the work, because I'm not a good sort of vacation, just lay on the beach. My mind will just keep working.
Okay.
And so to see birds and to notice them, and you have to really just shut everything else off. So when I'm doing that, I feel very away from work, and it's very recharging.
Good therapy for the soul, escape
Exactly.
from the 24/7 central banking job that you have. Now at the conference, you were awesome because you showed me how to be a birder. You showed me all the apps, Merlin, eBird, even Autobahn. So I went home, showed my wife, we've been doing some birding, nowhere near your level. But just to know the level of seriousness that you've been doing it for several decades. You do bird trips, I understand. So I have to ask you a few other technical bird questions. Have you ever made it to a fallout? Maybe explain what a fallout is.
I have never seen a fallout. So fallouts happen during migration, where a bunch of birds, migration, all the birds are flying from South America, Central America up to here. And there'll be situations where the winds are really hard. And so when the birds, the first piece of land they see, they all just fall down, and they're exhausted. And if you happen to be there, you will see an amazing collection of all manner of birds. I've never seen one. They're famous. They happen a lot on the Gulf Coast. That's one of the first places. And then also you'll get it up like McGee Marsh in the Ohio area. As they're flying, like they might fly from here, like Kennesaw Mountain or something, trying to get up to Canada. And if the winds aren't so favorable, once they get like to Lake Erie and those places, they fall. And you can just see amazing things.
Yeah. Now, have you had a big year?
No. So a big year is, it's funny, I actually just watched a podcast, a YouTube podcast on a big year.
A big year, yeah.
It was actually very interesting. But a big year is where someone decides for 1 year, I'm going to try to see as many birds as I can, and it's a calendar year.
Yeah.
I don't think the folks here would be happy about me doing a big year at this point, but it takes a lot of planning. You spend a lot of time in marshes and things with a bunch of mosquitoes and all that. I'm not sure I'm really up for it. I'll enjoy every now and then do a trip, just hope there are some odd things around. And
well, I watched the movie The Big Year. And that was a lot of fun. Part of my journey becoming a birder, talking to you. And I understand now is a great time to be watching birds. The migration is happening, so if you get out there, you'll see some.
That's exactly right. It's the other migration. So after the birds come up here, they do all their breeding, they nest, all that kind of stuff. and now it's time to get out of here for the winter. And so this is about the time when if you're out, you can start to see a lot of unusual things. So there are actually some software packages online where they will monitor, because these bird flights, their volumes are so large they can show up on weather cameras.
Oh, wow.
And so you can anticipate like when they're coming and get out there. So there are a couple that will tell you your area is a high night for the birds to come down. So get up in the morning and go out and look for things. And
well, we could talk the whole time about birding, but
I have one question for you. Like, how is it going?
Oh, it's great. I made a few lists of birds that I saw the indigo bunting, the summer tanager,
nice.
And then the usual yard birds. I have the feeders and stuff, but we're still learning and growing, and we aspire to be like President Bostic and birding prowess and ability. But let's talk about central bankers. So make the case. You already did, but make the case. Why should more central bankers take up birding?
Well, for me, I think it gets you in touch with the flows of the planet. And there are natural flows, and then there are human flows. And part of what I've found to be really interesting in this job has been how much I can learn just by going places and paying attention, being very focused on the local spaces, listening carefully to what they're saying and how they're feeling. And I feel like I have a better sense of the pulse of my district and by extension the country's economy, because I am trying very much to you come informed with information, but don't just let your lens be the thing that governs. It's really sort of how everything fits together in really interesting ways.
Well, I asked AI this question, and I want you to rate it. I got, I think, 3 here. I want you to rate how realistic is this, but why more central bankers should take up birding and be like you. And so number 1 answer was better pattern recognition, or long-term perspective with immediate alertness. And it said birders develop patience for seasonal cycles and migration patterns while maintaining acute awareness of moment-to-moment changes. This dual temporal focus perfectly matches central banking, where you must understand long-term economic cycles while responding quickly to market developments. Is that reasonable?
That's brilliant.
Okay. Thumbs up.
I'm going to use that one, actually.
Thumbs up. Second point, data integration under uncertainty. Successful birding requires synthesizing incomplete information, weather patterns, habitat conditions, seasonal timing, brief glimpses to make confident identification. Central bankers face similar challenges, making policy decisions with partial economic data and uncertain forecasts.
This AI is pretty good.
AI is
we were just talking about the fallouts.
Yeah.
A lot of that is paying attention to the patterns and knowing the timing and all that kind of stuff, using data to your advantage.
Okay, so we're making a strong case.
2 for 2, exactly.
Last one, it develops humility and continuous learning, which I think you've alluded to this. Even expert birders regularly misidentify species and learn new things. This humility and growth mindset would serve monetary policymakers well in an inherently uncertain field where overconfidence can be economically costly.
Well, that's exactly right. And you're out, well, when I'm out, oftentimes, there's a bird, and it'll be a log or a leaf or whatever.
Yeah.
And it is one of these things that's continuously humbling, and but that makes it rich. Yeah. And there's always some learning that happens, and there's always discovery, and that's a wonderful thing.
All right. Well, we look forward to more central bankers taking up birding.
And you too. It doesn't just have to be central bankers.
Fair enough.
Anybody can do it.
That's right.